we lose track of how easily stuff can get cluttered. It gets hard to find tools and whatnot. And it's important that if we want to keep getting jobs done in a timely fashion, that we organize our boxes and keep our tools, laid out the best way it helps us work and find our tools. And everybody's box is going to be different. They'll have ratchets on one side, screwdrivers over here. They'll have their pliers in one drawer. They'll have impacts and sockets. And well, I do a lot of electrical work, so I have a lot of electrical supplies and roll arounds. And I keep other tools elsewhere. Of course, everybody has a bolt drawer, clips and whatnot you're looking for. Then you got your 1/2-inch sockets, ratchets. Just kind of organize them. And it doesn't matter if you got cheap tools mixed with expensive tools or expensive tools with cheap tools. Whatever floats your boat, it makes it easier for you. Something I like using, especially on electrical, is like little tackle boxes and stuff, so I can organize easily. Like in this one, I have nothing but relays. These are all relays, Toyota, Kia, Ford, all different kinds of relays for troubleshooting the older cars. Or if nowadays when you go to find a relay, you can't even seem to run across one at the parts store, and if you do, it's the quality of it's worse than the ones that came in at factory. Of course, everything's made overseas in some foreign country. You've got your flashlights in certain places, your pick tools, and your little deep-pinning tools. And you can't forget your pocket screwdrivers. And I keep some wire on the box, extra flashlights, pry tools, clip remover tools. And then on the bottom, you may have a lot of specialty tools like your more deep pinning tools, maybe a fuel line removal kit, extra fuses, for really old school cars, extra butt connectors, heat shrink butt connectors, sockets and whatnot, harmonic balancers, pullers, torque sockets, stuff. If it's a roll cart, you can't fit everything in it, but you can fit some things in it that can help you. But like I said, depending on the size of your box, it really makes a big difference as to what you want to put in it. So a lot of the tools, I like to organize my tools. The tools I don't use as much, they'll stay on the bottom, out of the way. And sometimes you'll even forget where you put them. And that's why it's good to go through your toolbox, so you know where your tools are. When you need them, you can find them. If you don't ever go through it, if you work in a shop with other guys, things can go missing. They tend to just walk off. And sometimes you'll keep, if you have a big enough box, you'll keep extras of stuff. And like I keep extra relays. I can't fit them all in one box, just have another one. And then this is just extra little butt connectors here with different. Now this box is mixed up. This would be one you want to go through and reorganize. But if you just got to go outside to a truck or something, you're doing a little wiring up a hitch. And see, here's another reason these little tackle boxes work so good is, like, here's fuses, for instance, and you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and your maxi fuses, and then your mini fuses, and then other mini fuses, and stuff like this can really help you find what you're looking for really quick. And but this is a small little roll around. It's a cheap roll around, not very expensive at all. Probably $200 special roll around toolbox, but it gets the job done. And like I said, you can mix and match your cheap stuff with your expensive stuff. Like power probes come in handy, but there's a time to use them and a time to grab your fluke. And then sometimes you have a backup meter, a Blue Point, or just a cheap $20 one or a $30 one. And depending on what you're checking, you may not need it. You may just need a little test light. And don't forget your electrical tape and your interior tape, exterior tape. Something else, if you guys are doing a lot of electrical and you're having to tear into a harness, you don't want to cut up the harness. You can go to just anywhere where they sell sewing supplies, and you can get one of these. Seam rippers, and you'd be surprised. I mean, yeah, they're kind of dangerous, so you want to keep your fingers out of the way on the opposite end of where you're tearing into. But if you don't want to cut up the harness with a razor blade, which I always keep, I'll go out and buy a 50-pack of razor blades or 100-pack or whatnot. But sometimes just a little seam ripper will get in there where you can get through the harness really quick. And there's different sizes of those. I keep several different sizes of those. Not in this drawer. Let's see here. I even have the little mini ones, and those work really well if you're trying to get into a harness. Now they'll break off, so kind of be careful to how hard you push on them, and be careful if it stalls and don't want to cut through, then maybe you're actually on a wire. So but I've got a little butane torch in here with some little solder and heat shrink built-in butt connectors. Yeah, heat shrink, that's something you use a lot of. Specialty little stuff. You can check your 110 volt power points. Extra soldering gun if you're going to use your regular solder. Some paste, some rosin solder. Of course, you may be cleaning up a little battery, but basically that's about it. And this is just a little roll around, and it helps me when I can't find something. I'll come to it, and it's got a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Of course, my ratchet walked off. I'll have to get one of my spares out of the other box, and of course, like always, the 10 millimeter disappeared. So that's about it. But comment below if how often you go through your toolbox and organize it, reorganize it. Is it something you do daily? Is it something you just don't do ever? Let me know. And thanks for tuning in and watching this video. But I just wanted to put it out there that, hey, it is important. If you want to get the job done and everything done in a timely fashion, you do need to go through your tools. And if you're missing one, go pick up another one, because that day will come where you need it and you can't find it, and you don't want to buy another one then. So get it before you need it. Find out where it's at and get it where it needs to be put, and put it there. Thanks for watching.